我们依然会在这里收获每一份热爱，期待每一次相逢，带着今晚所有的感动与收获，让我们第三季见。
Liu Yuning closed one year and opened the next not with silence, but with a pulse that lingered long after the last note had faded. Some people mark the turn of the year with countdowns and fireworks, but for Liu Yuning, the transition was marked by the stage, by the gasping breath after the last song, by the gaze toward the audience before she bowed slowly and stepped out of the spotlight. The year 2025 ended with cheers. Cheers that did not come suddenly. They were built from long steps, from days that felt the same, from nights when her voice was almost gone but the song was not yet finished. At the big concert in Jiangsu, everything looked grand. The dazzling lighting, the spacious stage, the sound that echoed to the farthest corners. There, Liu Yuning stood as a symbol of success, as if her entire long journey had converged on that one bright spot. But behind the glitz, there was something quieter. There were moments when she stood in the middle of a song and realized how far she had come from where she started. From a small room, from days of uncertainty, from a voice that was once heard by only a handful of people. The cheers that night were like a huge wave crashing against her chest, moving her, almost shaking her, but also strengthening her. Because among the thousands of faces, she knew, none of this came without reason. The cheers weren't just for the audience. They were also for himself. For the version of himself that didn't give up when everything felt heavy. For himself who kept singing even though doubt often came before confidence. The Jiangsu stage was a hard, bright, and energetic end to the year, an exclamation mark at the end of a long sentence called 2025. Then 2026 began with a warm farewell. Not all farewells have to be accompanied by tears. There are farewells that feel like a long breath after a long run. Crush of Music became that space, a space that was smaller, closer, more honest. There was no distance between the voice and the ears, between feelings and expressions. There, Liu Yuning did not shout at the world. She spoke to it. This farewell feels warm because it doesn't come as a bitter ending. It comes as a pause, a moment to look back briefly, not with regret, but with honesty. The songs performed on stage sound like confessions. Each verse seems to say, I'm still here, I still love music, even though I'm tired. And that tiredness is real. Physical tiredness felt in the shoulders and throat. Mental tiredness that arises when expectations are high, when every step is watched, when small mistakes can sound louder than great efforts. But on that small stage, everything feels lighter, because she doesn't have to be anyone other than herself. Two contrasting moments, but both equally important. One closes the year with a burst of light. One opens the year with gentle warmth. One is about achievements that everyone can see. One is about feelings that can only be felt. And between the two, Liu Yuning walks without denying either one. She doesn't reject the cheers, but she also isn't afraid of the silence. She accepts both as part of the same journey. Perhaps that is where her maturity lies now. She is no longer trapped in the desire to always appear strong. She allows herself to be tired. She allows herself to doubt. But she does not allow herself to stop loving music. Because at this point, she knows, popularity can come and go, stages can change in size, but the feeling when singing, that feeling rarely lies. Now, he is stepping into 2026 bringing something new. Not just popularity, not just numbers, not just the spotlight. He brings conviction. Conviction born from experience, not empty promises. Conviction that music still makes his heart race like it did the first time. That every song intro still makes him take a slightly deeper breath. That something comes alive inside him every time he starts to sing. That confidence also comes with a more honest understanding that fatigue does not erase love. That loving something does not always mean feeling lighthearted all the time. There are days when waking up feels heavy, when her voice is not as strong as usual, when the stage feels too bright. But true love does not go away just because the day is difficult. It persists. It waits. It grows quietly. And for Lu Yuning, songs are a place to return to. A place where she can lay her emotions bare without having to explain them. A place where she can cry without appearing weak. A place where she can be honest without having to ask permission. Songs hold it all: happiness, sadness, exhaustion, hope, and return it in the form of a voice that can be shared with the world. Perhaps that is why so many people feel connected to her, because she does not sing from an ivory tower. She sings from the same ground, from the same human feelings. There are cracks in her voice, there is audible breathing, there are emotions that are not entirely polished. And that is precisely where the beauty lies. She does not promise a perfect future. She doesn't say that everything will always be easy. But she shows one thing that is far more important, that as long as there is still a song, there is always a way home. That as long as someone is still willing to stand on stage and open their heart, encounters will always be possible. And perhaps, as she sings herself, people who are meant to meet will meet again. Not always in the same form, not always at the same time, but always at the right moment. In the next song, when the intro slowly plays. On the next stage, when the lights come back on. On the next long night, when the world feels too noisy and someone presses play to find a friend. At that moment, Lu Yuning will stand again, sing, and let her heart be heard by the world. Once more, honestly, with the weariness she doesn't hide, and with love that remains whole.